Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy damn Thursday. We made it to the tail end. The tail end of the week. The tail end of the risk of the week. And we're blowing by it. We continue to climb. Who would have thought? It's really scary out there if you're contrarian, not in position, betting against the market still. Oof. It's tough out there for you. It's pretty tough. Now, who's doing that? It seems like nobody because no one's really been trading this week. Um, when I've already seen a bunch of articles come out. Pretty slow week, huh? Well, yeah, it's kind of like a bunch of us just kind of took off the week, right? not not trading early in the morning, maybe dicking around doing other things during the day. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do when the weather's nice and we're sort of just in a position and the market's going our way. It's when things aren't going our way, we have to get a little bit more dicey and aggressive, and we have to make decisions, solve problems. It's not that we have to keep, again, we have to always keep solving problems and find the next thing. But when you get days like this that have been upcoming and we're trading through all-time highs, and after big buy days, you don't get take profit. You get this sideways trading that is an understanding that everyone that's in position is going to continue to hold that position. No one's willing to throw it away because it doesn't make sense to. Everyone's betting on further upside. There's nothing else to know. There isn't anything else to know. If price doesn't take profit, no one's exiting long positions, then that means no one thinks the market's going anywhere but up. Everyone's going up all-time high. Now, I said it already before, and I have charts backing up the idea. Growth is going to NASDAQ is going to all-time high this week. I said it back over here. NASDAQ is going to all-time high this week. Everything is going to be all-time high together, again, with the exception of the Russell, because the Russell 2000, not the 1000, but the 2000 because of where it is in relation. But if you take a look where we are right now, we're open 334. Okay, let's put this up to 334. That's 1%. You don't think we're going to do 1% by this Friday? You're out of your mind. If you don't think we're going to be dicking around with the all-time high on the NASDAQ, you're crazy. You're crazy. Have you taken a look at any of these tickers? Amazon coming out of the brink of death. Terrible chart. Terrible chart. Not as bad as Facebook in here, but got worse over here because it wasn't rallying, breaking out with the rest. These moves, they're just coming. It's just coming. Like I said, all it takes is for price to be just up in here. You hit 3,300, which we're at. You're already pushing NASDAQ all-time high. Facebook has continued to push all-time, leading. Again, our leader. We've been trading the leader the whole time. Again, I have a breakout pattern right from here. Right? Apple. It's so easy to sleep on this, right? And I've talked about it. I disliked having to take this trade. We took this trade multiple times, preempting it, right? From the 25th, we started buying everything. Got stopped out. We took the trade again. I don't like to be in this trade. I really don't like to be in these trades, but it's not what we want. The market, we we have to trade what's breaking and what the price is giving us. Again, Apple doing this move here, trading in between the level here, puts it to all-time high. It's going to put it to all-time high. And again, you go through the horn, Google. There was no take profit on this candle. That's ridiculous. People are putting new long positions at all-time high up here. Why weren't they buying in here? Right? Think about it. Well, everyone's so willing to buy up here, even though they didn't buy in here. Maybe they didn't buy down here. Maybe they bought the whole way. Maybe they were like us. And how do we know that we're all very much in the same situation? Is that everyone switched their focus. So back over here, we were trading small cap value, right? And then we switched into larger cap value with those Dow kind of companies. Before that, we were trading only growth, right? What's happening right now? We have the resurgence of growth in the whole idea that equities are risk on and we're buying all equities. That's the state we're in. Everything's trading all-time high, backing that up. Everything is backing up this idea. Does that idea mean that's extending into next week, next month? Or is it a little bit more than that? It's a lot more than that, right? we understand that this is institutions do not put positions on to make profit by next week. We do that. We operate in a very short-term sense. This move from trading from here to here, we're ready and happily to take that profit so we can get in another position, because it's like I said yesterday, if you took positions at a low yesterday and some of those, and again, you can go see the clip from last night. I put trades on around 2 o'clock. Around 2 o'clock, I put trades on some of those clean energy and some of the more China-specific tickers. I talked about if they open up, and again, it's exactly what I said, if they open up 1% higher and then they go bid from the open, that's a 100% trade. And you didn't have to do a damn thing. You just put the trade on, and that's, again, one of the trades. We cast a wide net. We're playing probability, but it doesn't take very much because all you're doing is betting on the speed in the direction. It's not so much that the price reaches it's going to reach a certain price. It's that it's going to reach that quickly, and you're betting on price to reverse and pivot in such a quick fashion that you're going to get paid for that, taking that risk, right? You're taking some sort of risk there, and it's such a short move. It doesn't take a whole move in price to go up to a certain, again, like 20% on the underlying to go make your 100%. You can make a trade at a low and go make 100% on it. Do we have any examples of charts like that? Well, yeah, basically all of them actually did exactly what I talked about. They basically all did that. Almost all of them. All of them. They're all doing that. Okay? It's so again, just to give an examples, so things I talked about all of these down here. They're all at this low, right? So let me go. SunPower is not moving. ICLN is what I talked about. This opens up 1% higher and goes bid from the open. These will be 100% trades. Now, not obviously the ETF is one way to use it, and I talked about the ICLN is a better ETF. You can tell by the price movement, but I talked about the components. You go through the components and you do go through the list, right? Plug. I've talked a lot about plug. I talked a lot about the bad pricing through here and what we got this week of how we had oil actually tied down clean energy and the way the whole sector is working. And again, it's due to the way the demand is working with mega caps. Mega caps sucked up everything. And that's why when you look at this week, it looks like such low volume. And I talked about that from the beginning of the week. And that might be something to go look back on if you weren't here for when I was talking about that. Mega caps sucked up everything from the start of this week. So from Monday and going forward, it was just mega cap, right? And even from last week, right? And so what happens is, and again, I talked about it, is that all of the liquidity goes to those big players, again, those 6 mega caps, and that's it. All the liquidity goes there, and it sucks up everything. And if those have high volume, it doesn't really, it's not like they are they basically are the caricature of the entire average of the whole market, right? They build the S&P average, they build almost the entire NASDAQ average, right? They build up a Dow average. Those mega caps are basically it. And so as soon as they get the volume, nothing else has volume. And it's very hard to navigate through that other than just knowing that your bets, when we make a bet, such as down here, we're betting on more volatility and movement, right? That's how our bets work with options. That's when you trade derivatives. We're all derivative traders. That's just what you are. You're betting on movement. You're betting on speed to come through. Sometimes it's a one-direction speed, which we talk about velocity. We're betting on upside. We're betting on velocity. What's the other component? Well, if we're at low volume, we're betting on higher volume, right? So that's kind of where you are right now. And so I used a lot of that understanding yesterday of when I was talking. I was busy this in the morning, and then when I came back to put some trades on, again, just pushing long positions, my idea there was, okay, let's take those lower volume tickers that we want to be involved in, that we're also betting on higher volatility, but let's bet on higher volume, because that's exactly what's going to happen. What would that higher volume be? Well, it would be a higher demand, right? It's going to be higher demand. What's going to happen with supply as well? When we talk about liquidity, right? When I say liquidity is supply. For something to be liquid, it needs to have supply to be able to buy it. That's the market makers. Market makers build up short-term volatility. Short-term volatility is set by market makers. And when we talk about gamma squeezes, all these things, these happen with short-term volatility, not long-term ideas. Those are all basically determined by market makers and where they put their liquidity. There is a limit to how much liquidity can be put in a market. This is where we talk about the Fed provides liquidity. They provide $120 billion a month of liquidity to the bond market. But it's specific. It's specific to certain areas. Just like how this week, mega caps were specific to the liquidity. You go look at those. What choice did they have? Look at the demand coming in. This is pushing it through maximum supply, through maximum liquidity to be able to get all of this moving. There's a reason why you see something like Google make such a big move here. It's not that all of a sudden that the antitrust case, again, like I said before, but just put it in perspective with this, it's not the antitrust case making this go so much. Think about it more through, again, supply and demand. What's happening here? Well, through here, you don't have, there's no need for a lot of liquidity. No one's buying up shares of Google, right? Nobody really cares. Even when we started rallying out of the low here, Google wasn't really doing anything, and I even talked about it, how I didn't even get involved here. I didn't get involved until this candle here, which can be a mistake, but it's the same with Amazon. I didn't get involved. So what happened here? No one is expecting liquidity to be needed here. So there's low supply, and that demand comes in the same as for the rest, and you get this 3.25, 420, right? Another 1.25 here. And it's that idea of this liquidity that goes to the mega caps, and it's going to suck through. We should see this transcend through into next week in this idea that this liquidity is going to need to be there for mega caps, and it's going to cause, as demand comes in on these lows, think about it. Those tickers that have been pulling back a little bit, like clean energy, there's still not going to be liquidity there in supply, but the demand will go up because the price is going down. Quantity demanded goes up as price goes down. So think about elasticity here. Which is going to be inelastic and which is going to be elastic, right? It's those tickers that are going down that have not gotten more liquidity because they've been going down in price, and liquidity is going to mega caps. As they go down in price, that quantity demand is going to go up, and it's going to cause those prices to, again, with short-term volatility in the way that we understand, with contracts being picked up, everything coming into this April monthly date, you're going to have situations where those are such discounts, people are going to buy up everything, and it's going to squeeze the shit out of it because liquidity is not going to be there. So demand is going to just outrun supply, and they're going to jerk. Those tickers like this are going to jerk. It's one thing that this didn't start immediately. It's another thing that this is sold down through here when it's actually a part of the whole thing that's happening anyway. This is going against the average. It's going to catch back up. This is my bet. It's an opinion, but it's not like what I think. It's just what price is doing. This is just what we see with price and with flows and supply and demand, right? And so a bet like that yesterday, it doesn't look natural to the way that we usually trade. And we've been doing this a lot recently, but that's because everyone's doing the same damn thing now. We got in early on growth. We got in early on value. What's the next fucking play? Well, the next play is to start finding these areas that, again, are getting in before the rest, because it's very hard to beat the market. It's very hard to beat the market when everyone's just pushing price to the upside. There's nothing you can do but go long, right? There's literally nothing you can do. And so how are you going to beat the average? And I've been talking about this more and more. How do you beat the average here? Where's the alpha? Where's the alpha of everyone's buying? Buying Apple here doesn't give you alpha. There's nothing, there's no alpha generation here at all. Yeah, you're going to profit. Are you beating an average here? Very unlikely, because you did not get it. You're not going to be perfect enough to probably beat an average here. You're going to, if you push the risk up to its utmost point, absolutely, but it's very hard to do that. It's going to be very hard for any of us to actually make this position better than anyone else, which is fine. It's profit, right? So it's these other areas, again, where we can operate very quickly. We're agile. Get in there and take a trade that is risky, and it doesn't need to pay off over a week, 2 weeks, a month. It can pay off by tomorrow, today, right? And so it's operating in that space again. That's where we don't make alpha over a couple weeks. We make profit over a couple weeks. We make alpha in 1 day, 2 days. Those very quick hit and go. It's not that you have to take profit on immediately. It means that's where you make your gains. It's in that space that you make your gains. not over time. Over time, you're going to generate more wealth, right? You're going to create wealth through that. But it's important to still remember that all of us here, none of us, I mean, I'm not going to keep saying, but you can just put your money in the Vanguard and you'll make money. The only way we make money trading and generate alpha that is better than that of the people, this is true for anybody that trades, is to make that money in the short amount of time because we're paying for the risk. And through the risk, we're the ones taking the risk. And so that means we get to get paid for it. Otherwise, everyone else is just taking the trades and pushing the price on the underlying, and they're just a part of it, right? They're generating value through those. We're trying to take trades that are going to offer us alpha right now and generate income right now. You're not investing for wealth for your fucking family to push money down through the generations when you take a trade every day. Every trade does not equal some sort of wealth in the future. Your portfolio might overall into the future, but that's going to be a very different kind of style. If you're actively trading, you're trying to generate income, are you not? And that's why I say take it home. Why take it home? Because when you work at your shitty McDonald's job, your Wendy's job, are you going, oh, hey, boss, don't pay me the paycheck. Just put it back into the business and so we can grow the business and then you can pay me the money. Do any of you do that? No, you don't tell your boss to hold your paycheck and keep it there. Just pay me a little bit of it. Just pay me a little bit of it now. Reinvest it in the business. Don't worry about me. I'll live on food stamps. No, that's not what we do. We generate income. Do you know how you get income? You get paid fucking weekly. You get paid bi-weekly at most, monthly, right? And so we take it home. And so how do you drive short-term gains like that? Through short-term trades with a long-term understanding, because we want to be employed, do we not? So we need to be consistent and disciplined over time, which means we need to keep finding these trades, but we don't get paid. We get paid over time, absolutely, on some of those, and they're macro bullish ideas, but it's those gains where we make the most are made in those short-term areas where that's where we operate. That's where our alpha is. It's not over finding a trade that's going to last a month. Absolutely, that will generate wealth. But in terms of the income and making the money right now, that some of you need to make the money right now, it's in these type of areas where that's where the trade is. And that's it. And that's why, again, I talk so much about it's in those moments. It's in those moments that is when I talk about one trade. Now, you have to make a lot of trades, absolutely. It's that one trade when you buy in this sort of area where you're doing something that not others are doing. They're going to be in the same trade after, but it's there that you get paid. There's similar situations now. Everyone's betting on the market going up in the same way, but how fast are they betting on it going up? I'm sure everyone can say, oh yeah, it's going to go all-time highs. Are they betting that it's going to be all-time high by Friday? So on Monday, could you not have put bets on that it's going to be faster, right? What is your risk? If everyone's pushing the price up, it's going to be there eventually, right? Your risk might be that it didn't get there quick enough. And so again, there's still trades out there, and that's why with some of the new charts, what I'm trying to do is just generate some fucking alpha out there that we can actually just get something. Let's get some damn points on the board and take some money home, right? Because it's very easy, and we're gonna get into it. You're just gonna, like this week, we start to get low volume, we don't get active. If we're not active, we're fucking dead. You're not moving, you're dead in the water. You got one foot in a bucket of water, your other foot's doing God knows what, getting pedicures or some dumb shit, right? That's not going to be enough. We have to be active today. Today we need to definitely be on the hunt. And I think yesterday, the trade that I set up yesterday definitely was the start of that. I hate being in mega caps like this. I mean, I'm gonna get fucking paid for this, but it's not like it's like when we talk about things not being sexy. If you think this is sexy over like some of the other things, then you're out of your mind. Like the Dow thing was definitely a lot sexier than this. Facebook's kind of cute, but trading Amazon's not sexy. Trading Apple's not sexy. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I want to emphasize the tickers that look like this again, since I've been talking about it. Everything has this breakout right now on the growth side, right? It's the trade where, and to back up this idea again, when I talk about that short-term trade is where you get your gains, it's from this fucking support here up to the trend line of resistance, you're betting on it to go right there. Not to take a short, not to hang out, not to pull back. You're betting on price to go from here to here directly, a one-way route. There is no waiting, there is no stopping. It goes one way immediately. That's what you're betting on. When you take a trade from here, your bet should be, okay, this thing is going to go from this support up to this resistance immediately. There is no stopping for a lunch break. There's nothing. We're going to get there. And so what is that trade? That's a 100% trade. That's 100%. You're about to double your money. There's a lot of those. These are the spaces you're operating in. There's a lot of charts that are like this. Some of them, what happened after they got from here? They started to get stuck in the supply a little bit. It doesn't change that once it's ready, you take the trade from the support and immediately trade it to there. We have a lot of charts that are like that, right? We have a lot of charts that are like that. The snap trade yesterday, you have to be able to make a trade like that. If you can't make that trade, then you're not going to make any trades, right? It's these kind of charts that you just got it, right? It's just there. Look at, again, I talked about it. I didn't get it from the support, but I got it from the trend line. You trade it to the fucking trend line. It's 100%, guys. It's 100%. You're betting on it to get to a price in a certain speed, and that's all it is. You generate velocity off the support, and that's what we look for. We look for anything that's got a green line, a red line. I post on a chart, right? Support, resistance, and you're trading it one way. Now, sometimes there's risk reward for holding it when it pulls back, and you keep trying to push that winnings. Absolutely. But right now, what we're looking for is that price action where it goes from this damn level to the next level one way. There is no stops, right? And we're seeing that if your trade's not doing that, then your trade is a dog. And stop chasing it, right? There's no reason to be a part of that trade. You're not going to make money on it. Okay, you might make money on it, and that might be confusing. Keep that in mind. Now, there's a lot of tickers that, again, I warned windbreakers in chat. You can search the windbreaker emote in the chat, and you will find a day in the last week or so that I posted that we have windbreaker tickers coming out. Now, remember, fake insider trading is a crime, but real insider trading is legal as long as you don't get bribes and shit for it. Some of you may notice that there are some tickers that are popping off pre-market. Which ones do you say? Well, there's quite a few. There's quite a few? Whoa, what's going on here? Whoa, what is that? Is that 53%? Hold on a second. Let me just, oops, I keep doing that. That's 1154? Huh. That's interesting. 1154 on this one. Really makes you think sometimes. Calm. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wasn't this guy making up some phony reason why this trend line is here, but he's like, it's really not here. And then now, what is it at? 1655? Really makes you think sometimes. Really makes you think sometimes, doesn't it? Yes, I do. What are these charts that all look like this and now they're, really makes you think sometimes, guys. 53%. I wonder what that's quite a percent. That's quite a change. Really makes you think. Anyway, that's my one windbreaker joke. Just drawing lines on charts. Just just having a good time. Just making shit up. Making shit up as we go. Buying at lows for no reason. Having a good time. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Chinese tickers and why I bought at the low and why I said buy at the low yesterday, and then yada, yada, yada. Okay. Undoubtedly, the U.S. equity market is the one fucking spot that everyone wants to put their money right now. No one wants to put money anywhere else, right? There's nothing even close. No one wants bonds. No one wants emerging markets right now. Everyone wants U.S. tickers. But no one can, no one's betting against Chinese tech. China's tech is not going to be bet against, and it's on the New York Stock Exchange for a fucking reason. There's a reason why it's on our exchange. China's tech companies do well. What happens? Our equity market goes up. Right? Literally, China does well. Our equity market goes up. That's the reality, okay? We have a lot of big Chinese tickers in New York Stock Exchange. I talked about this yesterday and how, just like with the ICLN sort of things, that we have to be picking up Chinese tickers at this low. Okay, these are open up. This JD, for instance, JD's the only one that I posted the most recent chart on, but they're all basically in the same spot. I posted the JD because it pulled back deeper, but they all have the same sort of pattern on them, right? And so again, I talked about all of them. Billy is one of the ones I'm most bullish on. I talked about Baba. It's at such a ridiculous point that you can make up a bunch of imaginary ideas of why you're buying it, and they're all fine. That's all fine. It's terrible to look at, but you're betting on things might look better. These tickers here, again, you're talking about situations where when price is selling down like this, if you're buying anywhere in here and the price does turn back, you don't need it to climb all the way up here to go make a healthy percent. All you need to do is stop. You just need to stop going down. You need to just make a move, and you're going to get the gain. And then that's where you now are in the money by a sizable amount, and you can push that position further. This is opening up 1.5% higher. You're going to open up at least 20 to 30% higher on your options on just straight up at the money a couple months out options. So if you have something riskier that you're betting on, and which I'll say is it's worth it for those of you with lower capital, because you need to be getting your money, and you're going to have to make confidence bets. You're going to have to say, well, I trust the support and I trust this shit to go, and I'm going to go make my 100% tomorrow. That's fine. Again, we don't do that intraday. We don't scalp and day trade. This is where we make our money. This is how we do it. We swing it overnight and we make the money, and we swing it over a weekend. These type of scenarios where you build that base up and then you can push the trade. Then you can manage it from there. And then it gets difficult because now you're risk rewarding how much further you can pushing it to the edge, right? It's these kind of trades, though. You're about to open 20, 30% higher on your options at least, sometimes more, for just 1.5%. Some of you don't make that over a fucking year, okay? You should put your money in a Vanguard, right? So this is exactly where you make your money, right? It's difficult to make that trade. It's not fucking easy. This has not done well. Chinese tickers have not done well in trying to continue to bet on something over and over. Makes you lose confidence very quickly. I've been talking about this for a while, and it didn't break out. Now, we took a lot of these trades from back here, yes, but we had to exit them when we did not have to exit our growth tickers. So again, we took everything back here on the 25th, took the Chinese tickers, but we had to exit these positions. We didn't have to exit the US equity positions. We did not need to exit those positions here. It continued rallying. That right there is makes you lose confidence to want to go take that trade. Absolutely. Those tickers, watch them, because again, those will run very differently from ours. They don't get caught up in our short-term volatility. So if they do start, they're not going to stop. Our tickers can do the same, but again, there is certainly a little bit of a difference there in terms of them. And again, semiconductors, let's fucking go, boys. That early semiconductor bet, we got everything going, holding them, pushing them, doing whatever the hell you have to do. Again, I talked about how many times did I say the supply being constrained is going to push the price up on semiconductors. It may not be immediate, guys. Sometimes it's going to take a day. It's not goddamn immediate pricing on those, right? Semiconductors getting out of their mind. We're making money on everything. We preempted bets. We have big long-term positions. I'm about ready to take profit on a shit ton of those, bring home the money, and go enter it into new positions for over the weekend. So keep that in mind. Some of you that are in positions since the 25th as well, you need to be just fucking take the profit. Take the profit and go get something else, right? I mean, some of them are obviously they just keep running, and it's not clear when you can exit these damn positions. But if you are in that situation, I highly doubt many of you are, but based on people would share it here. Unlike me, people that make money want to share it. I don't mean like giving people money. I mean just telling others, and that's your prerogative, absolutely. But let's be honest, if it's hard to hold through that much time, especially what I just talked about, where you can make the money in very short amount. It's a very short spurt, right? But we want to be taking this home. I want to take it home. I want to buy something new. I'm a spender. And it's income. It's not wealth. Wealth is that you don't have to keep working anymore, right? What do I want to stop working for? I'm gonna be fucking dead if I stop working. We're all gonna be old. I'm already losing my hair. What am I gonna stop working for? Get out of your mind. Keep working. Spend my money. Okay. Orb, 52%. What do we do with this one? If you're in this position, what do you do? That's a good question for chat. What do you do here? It's a good question. UMC, this is a nice move. For those that weren't here for all of it, right? Semiconductors are having a supply shortage, so just for everything, auto parts, everything. Everybody needs semiconductors and there's a shortage. So money is being spent, right? Now it's a little different over here. This is UMC and TSM are the Taiwanese companies. They get pushed down here because of an average. So some of us got pushed out of these positions from the choosing the entry. We had to re-enter. But we had like American companies that stayed up because we're gonna give them $50 billion of Biden bucks, right? We're just paying private companies to do things. So we have a little bit. There's a little bit of different here. SMH is like trying to show some of what I just talked about with the Asia side, but again, yeah, just keep going with it. MKR is like an example where technicals are coming in, right? It doesn't change the fact there's a rally here and everything else, right? So they're all different. You have to navigate them, right? But the UMC move is definitely, again, what are we doing? You're trading to the fucking level and you're getting paid for it, right? Getting paid for it. There should be no doubters. I mean, at this point. At this point. And again, don't FOMO it. Some of you are like, I know the feeling. Trust me, I know the feeling. That's why I hate coming on here and saying some things. But some of you missed everything. You literally missed everything. You missed the move from the 25th when we preempted everything, and then you missed the breakout, and then you missed coming into this week. Do not let that stop you from making fucking trades. Price does not stop. Price doesn't stop for your pity party, right? It's yeah, it wasn't petty cash. It was all the cash you could have made. If you stop now and you don't take trades now, then again, you're doing the same thing now. And in hindsight, capital is going to come knock on the door. And hindsight, capital is going to go, hey, loser, you didn't make a trade yesterday, did you? And you should have. And so, again, do not let that stop you. Have the confidence to do something, right? You're not going to get hurt. Listen, you're not going to get hurt by the position if you go and fucking do the damn thing. Put a stop on there, you're going to be fine. You can see price. You can react to it. I promise you, you will be able to react to it. It's, you know, it's not as bad as you think. Give me a second here. Oof, boys. Oof. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. Yikes. Really makes you wonder sometimes. Really makes you think. I don't think I can get out of this position. I'm gonna have to exercise these, which is ironic. I may. Fuck. All right, we're gonna see. I'm not gonna pay attention to it right now. I might need to have someone go buy my position. Where are my market makers? You know what the dumbest thing in the world is you get 52% on a gap up open, and then you can't even get out of the position. You have to tell someone to come buy this. Take a loss. Take a loss off the top and have somebody buy it. so they can exercise it. I'm not gonna I don't get that kind of capital. I am not like that. I don't, you pay pennies for a position, not to make yourself pay thousands of dollars for it. Z going, everything going, shop going. I love this move here, by the way. I talked about this quite a bit. Again, all these tickers that are in here, guys, if you don't take these goddamn trades, you're not going to make any money. I post the charts for a reason. Post the damn charts for a reason. You don't take the damn trade, it's on you. Did my job. Did my job. You don't take the trade, it's on you. On you. You're watching shop right now because you're not in position. You're watching all these tickers. TWLO coming off the support here. You're watching it right now. Z moving. NG. We're not going to really talk too much about gold. Again, I've said enough and I don't want to. Now is at the supply again. It's a bit of a zone here. If that goes through there, it's going to get to the trend line. I would be if this reaches the trend line by lunch, then I'm probably going to take profit on that and take a new position. Twitter's right at that trend line again. It's a question of whether it's going to climb in, of course. PRTO is through. ZS looks like it's going to the level as well. Everything's going. So definitely everything's going. Get involved if you didn't already. QLD. Again, for our leverage of the Qs to get exposure to everything, don't use the Qs, use the leverage. You know it's going a certain way, use the goddamn leverage. Or, the TQs, whatever you need to use. Semis, everything's gone. Snap, Twitter, Facebook, socials, looking good. Facebook, again, is just a part of its move. Still turning up, looks very good. Google keeps going. Google keeps going. Everything's up. Microsoft up. We'll see how this does here with the Dow with value. Again, it's going to be slower, but it doesn't hurt you on the downside. Thing to remember. S&P, we're still all-time high-ing it. Yeah, it's these individual tickers making the moves. Where are we on infrastructure? X is still trending down, but SID is up. I was expecting that to go a little bit more bid off the start, but we didn't get as much bid. We'll see how that continues. Again, keep in mind how much some of these large names suck up some of the demand out of the gate, right? Out of the gate. Now for things like travel, right? Things like travel, this is where, again, now, okay, this is too much here, right? This is too much here. This might be put the trade, take the profit, put the trade back on. I already said yesterday, I doubt any of you were still in this position to begin with, but if you are, this is where you're making decisions. You probably got out at open. You can push this through, and again, I'll take trades for the weekend. Let me see here. Most travel I'm pushing because I want to push it over the weekend. Let's see what we have here. There's a lot of selling there. It's going to be very dependent on your position, but again, do not be in a position that's not moving to the upside. These are not okay. This is not okay for me. It's not okay for me. I will take all of these other growth tickers right now over short-term volatility. Who knows what the hell's happening with travel tickers, right? Make your money on the travel tickers, get the hell out of it because you don't know what they're doing. That's where you can put the risk on over the weekend and make the trade later, right? It's like I posted the Dow chart right here, right? Nope, not doing it. See ya. See ya. I'll wait for the support here, put it over the weekend, and go make my 100% from the weekend from support up to the resistance level by Monday, right? You don't need to do it right now. It doesn't mean it's not good. It means it's not good for right now, right? LSU says, are we looking for a head and shoulders on space? I mean, I just posted the space chart. I don't know if he saw that or what, but it's certainly sitting here on that support. We'll see if that comes in here. Again, space arced out of its mind and everything else. We're trying to buy this on the low. This is such a pretty chart here. We're trying to buy everything on lows here. You take that trade. You take the trade there. It's not perfectly within the trend line here. Doesn't need to be. You get a whole support down through here. take that trade down there. I don't know about head and shoulders, but I mean, yeah, I guess so. You can put it in there for sure. It's the same thing. No, he's not in the call, but SIG is in the channel here. Again, we'll see how that starts to trade through here. Anything that gets into a channel is just you're golden now. Golden. Com's a little different. Already been in the channel. It really comes up to when we get into a high. When we get into the high, then there's something to do. You shouldn't be doing anything until you get there. So we'll see how that goes. Shop keeps going. There's no resistance. There's just no resistance. You can try to make some sort of argument over here that's like 12-17 or something. I mean 12-18. I don't. There's just nothing there. There's nothing there. So this again, anything that was like this, it's so important to realize that when you have all the supply here, as soon as you pass it, as soon as you get out of all this candles in here, as soon as you get past it, there's just nothing. Just like here, right? That's all we're trying to do is capture this move that comes from here to somewhere else till it's done. When it stops moving, we'll take the profit. 100% trade. Easily. Easily. Bill is on 157.59. Let's see what that does. Same idea, right? All of these charts are the same idea. It's just we don't know which one we're going to capture. We don't get to decide, but we have to be aware of all of them and make that trade when it's fucking there every time. We make the same trade every time. Take the profit the same way every time. Money's green. The money, the 100 will be the same. There's none of... Only give me the new fresh bills. Fresh bills only, please. B-cell moving, it's an interesting one. Again, our clean energy tickers, Blink, for instance, coming out of the low. That's all we needed. That's all we were looking for, right? All we were looking for. COVID winners keep going. Wet ass Peloton. By the way, Justin Bieber Peloton class last night was great. With my favorite trainer, Olivia. She lives here in New York. I've seen her a couple times because I'm a creep. I don't mean that in like a creepy way. I just probably like a creep because I've seen her. But we did the Justin Bieber class. Now, those of you that don't know, there are different trainers and they do things differently. This woman literally does not stop. You don't get a break. So for 30 minutes, you just fucking bike out of your mind. Like sprinting. You sprint the whole damn time in that class. And we did it to Justin Bieber. It was great. Loved it. And then there's always some asshole in those classes that, I mean, there's a ton of people in those classes, like hundreds and hundreds of people on the leaderboard. Dude, I mean, I can bike pretty goddamn fast. Like, get some long legs, get some powerful legs down there, right? I'm holding the chain up, holding the option chain up. But Jesus, those people are out of their fucking mind, honestly. Like lapping me multiple times, like just, I mean, out of their mind. Like they're probably, you got Lance Armstrong over there, fucking sack over his shoulder, his one ball just roided out of his mind, absolutely destroying me. But they're probably losing money to me right now in the chain, so I feel better. I feel a little bit better knowing that. That's why I said gentrify the option chain today. We get some broke ass Robinhood traders. We're gentrifying. Get them out of my chain. Get them out. Gentrify this fucking goddamn chain today. Okay. See if we get some volume in here. Think the volume idea was a good idea. And I mean, that really just means that we're going to get more demand, right? TSM's through the level here. Okay, this is important. Let's see how much movement we get from here. I want to see this clear through to the next level very quickly. I want to see this happen very quickly. This should be a good example of trading between levels. So even if you took the trade right now, it should be able to confirm the support. And by the time it's done confirming the support, get enough demand to go push to the next level here. If we get something like that here. That's, again, it's already put a ton of points on, right? We're already 2.5% up. From here to here is another, that's a 1.25. So from the gap up 2.5%. I want to see it still needs to fucking get past this level, but I want to see that clear there very quickly, just as quickly as it did this. If we're getting some of that buying through, I think it would need to. Otherwise, the timing is not there. Otherwise, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. I mean, it's most likely will be a gap. Just like, it literally will look like this, I would say. It'll look the exact same, but we'll keep monitoring that one. Because otherwise, there might be a couple different ways to have to play that one. The TSM trade is a little different. The others you don't have to do anything on. Like, there's nothing to do on any of these, right? AMD is so slow here, right? You don't have to do anything here. It's just going up. You're making money. Every day you're making money. Okay, let's see. Hot stocks, we'll see what happens there. Apple on the level here. Again, it's the same idea. I mean, it's a big question. How fucking quick is it going to do this? I said it with Amazon as well. These are the two. These are the two that are not at their high. They're not at their high. And the question is are these going to fucking speed racer their way to this damn high right now? My bet is that they're going to. That they're going to. And even if, okay, they may not do it immediately here, but as soon as they push high enough that the NASDAQ is all-time high, which we're goddamn close to, as soon as we're less than 1% away, once they push up just enough to get NASDAQ into the all-time high, I foresee a lot of demand coming through. It just, again, it's Thursday here. It might pull back off of the gap, but I see that just, it's like that amusement park ride where you're on the ship and it goes back and forth, and if you sit on the very back, it's almost like you're completely vertical, going to fall out of the seat. It's going to be fucking like that. We're on the swing going the other way right now. We went from the low, and now we're swinging to the upside on that goddamn pirate ship thing that gives everyone the creeps. That's a fun one. Now is now up to the upper resistance, and then that's where we're looking for it to go to the trend line. This is a nice trade. Bad liquidity. Should be able to get moves going very quickly. We at the volume. Okay, the volume is much higher today, so yeah. SE continues. What a really fun ticker this was. I talked about it back over here on the trend line break when we got this chart the first time. It's a ticker like this, has nothing to do with anybody. I don't even know what the goddamn company is. Are they the hard drive? Is that the C? The C that does the hard drives? I actually don't know. I'm guessing it's, I mean, I guess it's not Seagate, right? They're not Seagate. I got no idea. My bank account likes it though. Thank you, C. Okay, where are we at? ARC still not moving. ARC is still not moving, but I'm gonna keep up the idea of the flow there. Oh, if you guys didn't know, there's 3 new Q ETFs. So that's, again, I talked about this idea with ETFs. There's just gonna be more and more flows coming into the market. ETFs are flows. They basically are like, there's money just sinking into ETFs, right? And that's where the flows go because it's easier to put the money in a quicker fashion. Like SPACs are just quicker than traditional IPOs, and then everyone can get involved. So it doesn't, you don't, the opening price on a regular IPO is just like out of its mind. SPACs are, you get in from the low, you get in from the $10 point. ETFs, same idea. Everyone can get in, put the volume, put the flow in. Waiting for ICLN to get through this level here. Taking a bit of a pause. Taking a bit of a pause. We're coming back around. See what this move does here on the intraday. Float out of their minds, exactly. Ryan mentions CarG ELY. Yeah, definitely looking for ELY. CarG has been doing very well. Okay. People have bought my people have bought. Yeah. We've got 2,900% on April's, 800% on May's. And I had a few Junes. Junes were at 400. No, we're at 300. 300. Not bad. DM woke up. Let's see. DM is waking up. COVID winners we're looking for. That's the next thing. Because this is just again, this is the next thing that hasn't come out of this low yet. It's sort of trended out here a little bit, but it's very much at its low. So things like Peloton we already got involved with. I talked about Etsy and some of this move here. It's still very much in the low here, very much a low, and it will be. We want to keep pushing the leaders right now. We want to keep being in those leader trades. So I don't specifically want to be here yet, right? But the next trade, these will be the next trades. Doesn't matter that it's done 3% here, 4% there. I don't care about any of that, right? I care about the timing and where I'm going to make my trade. I don't care if my trade's here to here. I don't care if the trade's from up here to over here. Wherever that trade is, I'm going to make my trade in there, and I'm betting on it from in that zone, right? But definitely looking at those COVID winners. I talked about it, like the relationship with eBay here and how we're seeing it with like Square Inc. and some of these. Again, we've sort of had some of these times when these moves all sort of one will lead the other and then the other comes in. We've seen this. We've seen this happen a lot. Okay, come on. Come. Make that move there. Let's see. Where are we at on Tesla? Tesla's still not moving as well as the other mega caps. I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of other things going on here. Definitely nice candle there. Definitely like that candle. We're betting on all the arcs. So again, I am in this position. I'm pushing a position here. I'm looking for this shit to go in the exact way that I've drawn all the arc charts, the Q's chart. This is the goddamn NASDAQ. So uh, there's no other thing around it, right? And when we look at EVs, the EVs are all in the same sort of situation where we're losing points in the short term. Again, I do believe a lot of it is due to the mega cap side of things because the demand is the same here. It was slow out of the gate here. So we understand that there are some technical reasons why it's stuck in the supply in here comparatively because it wasn't at a low. Ford, for instance, was at a high. It was already at the high well before all the mega caps. So this is where, again, we swing from one thing to the other. As one thing swings up, one thing swings down, which was growth as value was swinging up. And now they're both doing it at the same time. But what's going to swing the most is the thing that was at the low, right? That pirate ship meme. The amusement park ship. RNG's going, the RNG trend line comes in at 347. So that's probably an important thing to note. 347, 8.5% away or so, but that doesn't really matter. Today, tomorrow, how that looks. Yeah, looking very good. Yeah, we'll see what this intraday move looks like. We've had no movement intraday. Okay, we've had movement, but we've finished sideways every single day. This is not really that much movement. These are very small candles comparatively, compared to what we've been doing in terms of intraday movement. All the action is again still after hours. So I'm not going to be surprised if the average just trades flat all day again. We're up higher. We're an all-time high, and there's tickers that are climbing out of their low. All of the mega caps are climbing out of their low. Apple's taken off. The average isn't going up much, right? Because everyone's going into mega caps right now. Got to be a part of these. If you're not a part of these moves, you're going to feel bad. You're just going to feel bad. These ones are a little too easy. Again, no trade's easy, but in terms of getting filled, you could get filled in and out on Apple 100 times today if you wanted. Looking good. Small caps still dicking around here. Not a surprise at all. Again, I've talked about short-term crude is just a mess right now. Short-term crude's a mess right now, which is to be expected. OPEC can be providing more supply. There's so many different things going on here. Again, we're betting on long-term. Right now, though, we're not dicking around with the short-term. Very important there to understand that. So, energy, right? Things like XWM here, we're not going to diddle around in this area. Not until there's a break and a move will we do anything here. That will keep some averages down. That will affect some things because of that. Things like XLE are not going to be moving because, again, all of this short-term crude volatility is going to keep this down. That's not how we trade equities. Equities, we are speculators. We push price, but we only do it when we want to. We can all be like, oh yeah, it's going to go up. Then why aren't we buying it now? Because there's fucking better shit to buy. Better stuff to buy right now. WD, yep. So I mentioned the CrowdStrike move as well. I took the trade back over here. Took the trade. I actually thought a little bit longer on that one than most took, because I think I did it. Can't remember what day we were doing it, but I was like, do I really want to buy this here? We bought it. Here we are. Again, same idea is that you're in open space here. And you look at this as just as the other charts. This idea here, it's just, it has all this movement up here, but is any of this supply? Is there any level in here that kind of creates a resistance to your price here? No, it actually just moves freely in this area. And so it's just the high in the market itself that holds it. There is no holding. The market's not holding anything. If it's doing anything, it's pushing everything, right? So a trade like CrowdStrike, and CrowdStrike again still in like the top 10 of most percent gain in the last year as well, which is again all of that retail craze really pushed those type of things. So anyhow, now the Netflix one is definitely another example of something moving a little slow, but it's right there. It's literally right there, and so this is over. This is 2% from here to here. Right at resistance. There's nothing up here. There's nothing up there. There again, we're betting on a very quick move up here. Betting on a very quick move if that's going. Something like this here, Netflix. I've talked about this in the past. Netflix, once it breaks through this level, and I talked a lot about this level back here. You guys remember my like demonstrations of back down here. Once it comes into this support level and then it breaks through the next level here, it just goes. Boom, 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 boom. Gapped up this time. That was the earnings, right? The earnings, but it was just because the volume was higher. The demand is there and then it gapped. Same thing applies for this move here. But then what's happening? Why did it get stopped here? Because the market. The market wasn't ready to go that much further and that fast. What about over here? The market's fucking ready, baby. We're going all-time high. This is a target just to the all-time high. That's because once you get up here, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get another pattern from me and another chart. Most of these all have patterns ready and waiting. All of them. All of them. See you, baby. Netflix and chill me tomorrow. Seeing a lot of asks higher than before. Just liquidity you're talking about? Everything I just said about this morning, yeah, you're basically just seeing it happening in a, in a real time. And also just again, think about the liquidity thing, what I'm saying with mega cap sucking up, but then also just think about the fact that everybody realizes that equity is a risk on right now and that we're pushing through all-time highs. What happens when you're all-time high? There's no levels. Usually you have a price point where you can go put your asks at. And you go, everyone agrees that there's a level, and so everyone puts their asks there, and so now you have to push through that supply. So if there's $100 is like over the last 100 trading days, $100 is like the resistance, then everyone knows that, okay, $100 is where I can at least put my ask at one point. If that doesn't exist because we're in all-time highs, or if there's no resistance level that's actually prices converted to before, then what's going to happen? Ask prices are just going to keep rising as price rises and quicker because you're trying to basically guess what people will pay for it the next tick. And so it just keeps getting more sporadic. And that's where velocity really comes in. And that's where everyone is a buyer right now. And so if you're selling, you're just gonna get paid for it because you're gonna be a buyer again anyway too. And this is where no one is actually selling. It's only market makers. Market makers are the only one providing liquidity. It's hard to remember that, but it's not a zero sum. It's not a zero sum game. It's not that one of you is selling a position to me. You're not. We're all buying. There's market makers providing liquidity. That's the only thing. And guess what? They're making money too because they're covering the spread between the bid and the ask. And so they have an obligation to fill liquidity, to provide liquidity with bid and asks. So they don't make money besides the spread. What are they going to do if everyone's buying? They're going to fucking raise the ask prices. And if there's a limited amount of supply that they have, right? They only have a certain amount of liquidity they can provide. They're going to need to raise that spread higher. That's when we bet on volatility. We bet on volatility. What is volatility? The spread between the bid and the ask. That's what volatility is. That's all that volatility is. What happens in these times and what do we bet on is exactly what you see now is that the bid and ask is going to widen because there's more volatility and also because there's just so much more demand than supply. Market makers are going to do that naturally. And market makers, again, are the direct component to short-term volatility. Short-term volatility exists because of market makers. That's it. Because of the liquidity they provide for us to be able to go buy shit anytime we fucking want. And so again, that's exactly what we bet on is or asks just going up. That's why you want to be in position before that shit happens so you can capture that. So you can actually capture it. Okay, BSIG on this trend line. Looking for ARC still. Twitter about to go back through it looks. W keeps going. W's a really fun one. Put the daily on. I think the chart's on the other layout, but W, the tightening in here looks very interesting. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. ICLN is at the support here. I'm ready for this. I'm actually ready for it here. We'll see what this trend line does. We did get affected by the highs here. I just don't see clean energy and shit being held down. I just can't see it. Going over to the weekend, I just can't see it. I think there's too many things that are going to be said on the weekend too that news traders and shit are going to be like, oh fuck, I know some news is coming. Windbreakers. FSLY. See, it's hard to look at this chart, but FSLY is the largest. Not FSLR. Jesus Christ, I'm losing my mind. FSLR. They look the same. I was looking at those two charts. I'm like, Jesus, they look the same. FSLR, largest solar. You know, it's right here. All you have to do is bet on that this is gonna at least come to here. That's 8.5% to the high here. That's 100% going into next Monday. Easy. I think it's easy. I think it's an easy trade. Plug, same thing. Just to the high. I don't care if it goes further. I'll have another trade ready for if it goes further. All those trades that I just put on yesterday, they already fucking paid. Already paid. Didn't have to do anything. Yeah, Twitter's right there. It's right there. It's not there yet. That last tick that we just saw, it's interacting with the doji data of its mind coming down. We'll see what this does. It's right on the daily. It's right on the trend. It does it. If Twitter gets in the channel here, then I mean you'll instantly get to the resistance here, I would say. You're instantly gonna get up to that high, and then we'll see what happens there. Then it doesn't. Everything's going to all-time high anyway, we're saying, right? So now all this is a question of. This is not a question of direction. It's a question of fucking velocity and how quick something's gonna happen. For this trade here, I'm happy with this trade here. I would take the profit here. And so now what I'm looking for is, can I let this go through here? And if it gets through here, I don't know. I no longer need to take profit, because now what's going to happen is it's going to move so quickly from here up to the high that I can let it even stop for a day, because it's going to move so quickly. And so again, I mean, it may not even stop because of that, right? So I'm content sitting here and waiting for that to come through here and fucking blow the doors off. If it's going to, it has to go through there though, right? It has to get through there. So the question is it doing it right now? And do we need another bet for that to happen? There might be better options to bet on that, right? This is where those short-term ideas come in that I always talk about, don't buy like short-term out of the monies, but there's times when that type of shit is warranted, right? It depends. Really depends. It's when you do that all the time and you're not disciplined, you make fucking terrible decisions, right? TSM did get held at that level, by the way. So we're still waiting for that to show us something. Chinese tickers are sitting here right now as well. Again, American equities, they're not going to move intraday. Chinese tickers are all after hours and everything else, right? So keep that in mind. I think that should already be. I mean, I've said it a billion times, but they're benchmarked to the other market. They're going to move based on the the pricing over there. So where we are, fucking give us some intraday movement. We're going to trade flat. Give us like an influx of something. Blink looking very good. Again, good bet from yesterday. Good bet from yesterday. 7.5% today is 100% on the options. 30, 100%. So 100%. Exactly what I said. And I don't mean it as in like a hindsight, like duh. I mean it in when it comes to knowing the possibilities. It's knowing that you can buy at that point, and if you get the at least a 1% gap up, and then you get bid from there up to about 5%, that's about 100%. That's what I'm talking about. It's just knowing that that's possible and planning for it. It doesn't need to do it. It's knowing that that's possible and that there's money to be made there so you can make that trade over multiple tickers, right? They didn't all do that. They didn't. Blink's the only one that actually did this. The others are up. They're up a couple percent. They did not make the 100% on the options. This is the only one. Is that 30%? That would be 30%. This would be 30%. I talk about 30% of my trades are 100%. That would be one of the 30% from yesterday. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. GWG going again. Paw stocks continue here. It's this is where I can't remember who said in chat. It's like saying that pot stocks were slower. It's such a this kind of thing you have to ignore. And I talked about this a little bit, that the position from here, if you're here, you can't take the trade into the break if you're not already in the position. But this is where nothing changed. It's going to continue to go. We're betting on it. There's this price action, it's hard to just look at. Can't do anything in here. Can't do anything in here. You can't be buying here or anything. You capture it when it goes or not. These are going to go up. You know all of these will go up. You just don't know when, right? You just don't know when, and so you just have to take the chances when they're there, right? And the thing to remember here, this is 80%. That was 80%. This, when we're buying everything back here, this is 27%. That's a lot of fucking points. Such big moves, right? Such big moves. What comes next? Defin is definitely possible as well. Here I'm stuck under that level, which is funny because I was like, oh, look, here it goes. And then it actually reverted back underneath. Yeah, GRWG is certainly again, the idea that Canada should be going up is so silly. So again, GRWG is the American company that they M&A everything. They just buy out other companies. That's what you should be betting on. If you're betting on pot stocks, guys, you shouldn't be betting on like, oh, I love my favorite flavor. in this company, some dumb shit like that. I mean, that's not what people do, but you know what I'm saying. It it's about it's about the money in the flow. GOWG is the one company that buys. They have a fuck ton of cash and they buy all the other pot stock companies. That's what they do. GOWG is the buyer. They're gonna grow and be big. That's what you would bet on. Uh, that's what they bet on, right? And so you want to be, again, GOWG. I've talked about before. All the professional traders, everyone else is buying that shit since like 6 months ago. I talked about it, right? Don't. There's no reason to. Again, I've joked about the CGC thing because you guys put it into the fucking position, and it moved like 2%. It still lost money anyway. But it, guys, there's no reason to be betting on, okay, Canada pot stocks will go up. And I've said it before, you want to be buying the thing that's going to go up the most. GRWG went up 80% in less than 2 weeks. 80%. CGC went up 2%. It's not even fucking close. And that's from a fundamental idea anyway, but it's just from like a no-brainer. Imagine betting on a Canadian company when New York bets on legalization. Got him. Oh, look, New York passed legalization. Let's go fucking give our money to Canada. Like, oh, look, real estate's coming back in New York City. Let me go bet on some European real estate. That'll do well. uh, but Don, you said nothing's, it's not fundamental, Don. This is the technical trade. Okay, but there's some things to think about there. I don't know. SDC is all over the place. I'm not sure about all those. That looks like um uh, I think we can take that. You can take that. You don't get that bet unless you're. I'm gonna take this one. A little SDC for Monday. Short-term SDC for Monday. Okay. I see that's at 1040. Did you mention Pepsi earlier? Definitely, you get again. You've got like this idea of tightening here. It's not breaking out or anything. It's getting sort of towards its apex, but it's still squeezing towards the upside, right? Very bullish. Very bullish. Been a really nice. That was a really nice trade. I'm pretty happy about that one. Again, I got the layout on the other one. If you haven't seen that chart, broke out here and we captured this move. That's where we make our money, right? That's where you make the money, right there. That one-way move. Something doesn't move very much over a long period of time, and then you bet the move is gonna go. That's where you make the fucking money. Yeah, it's doji. It's right into the most tight part. This you can't even draw a trend line through here because is it this one here? Where it squeezed again? If something doesn't break out like the halfway to 2/3 part of the two converging trend lines, then it's not going to break out quickly and it will just squeeze through the apex. That's what Pepsi did here, just kind of squeezed out. Now you're in a different situation. Now you're flat. You're creating support. You're tightened up to an equilibrium. Now it's just which way is the supply and demand gonna go? Is it gonna be demand? Gonna be supply? It's most likely gonna be demand. And what happens thereafter? Momentum. Momentum will come after it makes the move, but it has to make the move first, right? And so this is where you could put a bet on. Do you want to bet that Pepsi's gonna go up or down? Okay, up. How quickly is it gonna move it from this point? I would say by Monday. Let's do the bet right now. Where's Monday? The fuck? What day is Monday? This one. 146.5. 2%. 2% by Monday. I think that's done. Done. Put it in. 2% by Monday. Give me the short termers. Where are they? Give me the monthlies. Give me the monthlies. Okay. 2% by Monday. Done. Just because it got talked about in chat. It is tightened really, really far. I mean, it just can't do any. It can't get any tighter than that. So, just a fun. That's a fun one right there. Because again, it's not great because of the way it's squeezed out. But I think it's so warranted to go trade that. And again, it's so easy to sleep on value right now. But look at these fucking charts. They're just so much better. They're still so much better. You're not gonna get hurt on the downside like these other charts. Like we are gonna get hurt on. The reality is that we will get hurt if any of these come down on growth. Like growth will just hurt us. Apple will hurt us if it comes below the support, right? You made this point, you made all these points here. It takes 1-2% on the downside, and you get really fucked up by that because you no longer got the speed and direction. That's a difficulty. Still at that level. Everything's holding again. No, barely any movement. Barely any. Dollar keeps pushing down. I talked about gold already. Gold is going up. Again, it's up to you however you want to do it. But I talked about it over here. Those of you that weren't here, I talked about how the gold chart it's really silly to be like, oh yeah, it's the growth chart. They're not connected whatsoever, but the charts and the price action is the same. And so we took those bets with the dollar in mind because the dollar is going to push down because we know it's subjectively just further down. Even though it's up right now, it's because of inflation reasons. We know it's going to go down. That's going to cause gold to go up just because of that. And again, there's a super cycle idea in gold. Again, we're not doing the same thing as before where we took this trade here and then it gets stopped and got cucked again. It should have already broken out in terms of what we understand. So that means no one understands, but we can still trade short-term vol and we can take these type of trades here. And I think, again, I talked about these. I posted like the NG chart. These are trades you can take. They're not easy. They're not easy. The equity side, we traded on the equity side instead of just straight up gold because if you want to trade straight up gold, then you're going to buy it and sit on it for the next fucking few years. We don't do that unless it's Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is going to pay us 1,000%. Gold's not going to pay us 1,000%. So we have to go trade the equity because that's what we do. We don't have the luxury to go sit in something for a year, right? Again, like I said, this is income. This is not wealth. We create wealth, but this is for income. Those of you guys are here to make income. You're not here to fucking wait 2 years to go make the money. If I told you, give me $1,000, give me $1,000 a year, and I'll make you guys 20% over the next, or I'll make you 100% over the next 10 years. You'd be like, no, I don't think so. I'm not waiting 10 years. I'm not waiting 5 years. Not waiting a year. You guys want it tomorrow. You guys want the fucking alert today. Give me the alert today, Don, and then I'll get paid tomorrow. And then I'll think about the $1,000 a year. Okay? I want everything right now, buddy. Okay? Or else I'm out of here. Blink, going through the high. See you later. Okay. What is this one gonna be? 200%? How many of you took those trades at the low yesterday? I think you guys are pretty reliable on if I'm gonna do something. You get in there. You get involved. Who took Blink? Who took Plug? Who took any of those at the low? Anybody? I'd be curious about percents. How much do you have for percent, guys? I'm really curious because it's hard to tell. I can't actually tell from the chain. I'm looking at it, I don't see. Or it's hard to tell. Everyone got in at a very strange point, and I got in at a very early point. Yeah, I lost a little bit because I bought from like 1 to 2. I lost a little bit going into close, but obviously the whole point of buying was to hold today. So Hold to today. 30. Okay, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yep, that sounds about right. Once we get through this high, things will certainly heat up. And again, if you're good example of this, so Mobsy's got May 45s, right? And he's at 30%. Here's where things change, is that once he gets past that 45%, that's when his contract has intrinsic value. So he's going to go from 30%. If this goes up past 1%, past 45, he'll be past break even. I bet that goes from 30% and starts to gain exponentially comparatively. So he's only at 30% right now for almost 10%. I guarantee that that's going to go up at least double if it goes to 46. And that's where, again, this is where like the contract selection and things like will matter, but it doesn't matter if price gets past a point anyway, because that's what you took that more out of the money contract for anyway, is that, well, there's going to be an exponential because once it gets past there and it has value, well, now it's going to be fucking worth something. So it went from being trash to fucking gold, right? And this is where the more money you have, you can just spread over a bunch of contracts and then you go, oh, this one looks better. Add more money to that one. By buying the contracts you already own, you're pushing your own price up. Where you get some silly. That's where the silly parts come in, especially on low liquidity tickers. Selling to myself. It's a very nice move there. Very nice move there. We see how much these start to pick up. The plug move is so much more connected. It's kind of funny how much better that price action looks, even though it's all the way down here. The intraday move definitely looks a lot better, so we'll see how that continues today. And this should be pushed further. Waiting on semis to pick up some more action. Let's getting into that, we're just, again, this is another lesson. It's so important. It's so important. You're making the trade a day before and pushing overnight. All of the points come from pre-market and after hours. All of the points. The points are not being gained intraday. All the points, they come off that first opening candle from the open, and that's it. You're done. You can't take the trade right there and make the money there. It doesn't work like that. Everything. Everything is like that. And so again, this is why we push trades overnight and we capture on like a swing and we don't day trade. How are day traders making money today? Okay, they like shop, right? What did they do? What did they bought somehow from open and then topped it right here? They did this perfectly. They made their 2% scalp right there. They made a 2% scalp right there on shares, right? Because you can't do that with options. You can't do that with options. So they do it with shares. They made 2% there. How the fuck they do that? How'd they do that? Okay. The S&P scalp, the S&P day traders. That's the big YouTube thing, right? You trade, you day trading, big names. Okay. What did they do? How did they do this? I'm really curious. And they do even they do like 3 minutes and shit like that. 1 minute. Okay. Let's see. Okay. How, where, and how are they day trading this shit and scalping it? You're telling me that somehow over here, and then where is it? Oh, they made 10 basis points. 0.1%. 10 basis points. Right? I don't think so. It's not happening. This is where everything is overnight. Right? You get a swing. I think Z is going to be sneaky on this next one. Volume already got low. Volume already got low on Z. Probably going to be pretty sneaky through that level. I think we're gonna get a few of those today. Some of these that are at this level, all the moves are very similar, but we have a couple charts that are actually at a level, and they didn't break it. They're just sort of sitting there. Things like TSM is another example. They're just sitting here. I think it's gonna be very sneaky on the way through some of these. Something to keep in mind. BRM would be another one. It's hard to tell because it's still pushing down right now. It's up 2% on the day though, so it's not like it's selling. Yeah, CRWD, nice call by JGR, right on the support. Very, very nice move. You push through the level, you come back down, confirm the support, and continue. Right? It's the classic move that we look for every single time. There's literally nothing better. That is the move. People call this all kinds of different things. They'll call them pivots and everything else. It's called fucking price action. How price works. That's how price moves. There is no other way that price moves. How is it going to change direction? How else is it going to make a move? How else do you go from down to up? Oh, these fucking phonies. I'm sick of the phonies. Get them on the Peloton and get out of my option chain. Fucking poor mobile traders. Obviously, his blink is now 47%. Feel this can is. I mean, it pulled back here, so. See. About to get 46. We're going to break the high here. We break the high here. What do we have on? Let me see. What is this degree? 45? $33. $32. Okay. I mean, it's going to be quicker than this, though, and that's where when I post some of these charts, you got to remember that the move is happening in a now fashion. This is going to go here much quicker. Might diddle around, but we take the trades on every time it's going to the upside. We only are in a position when it's moving up, not when it's moving down. So there could be times it's going down, but say something like this. Again, the timing, it's been consolidating for this amount of time. I would not say it's going to take this much time. Good example is just how prices already moved through here. This already did all of this move 40% in less than 2 weeks. So we'll see how that move comes. See how that move comes. See GE being mentioned. GE's on support. Again, nothing has changed, guys. Nothing's changed on the value first. So again, I'm still all over values. Absolutely, absolutely. Aerospace and defense. These, I mean, you know, you can just see the move. What's it look like? Very controlled. It almost looks like no one has sold anything. That's kind of what it looks like, does it not? It doesn't look like anyone has sold a damn thing. I know what it looks like when people sell things. That looks like a lot of selling through here. It's gonna be very interesting. What are you at? Verizon got gapped. Again, there's a lot of different things going on in the communication sector. We're not going to talk about all of it. So we got like Verizon down 2%, comms up 7%. You got dumb shit up all kinds of percent. On the sell side, on the Dow, all demand. It's all demand focused. EA looks great coming out of there. Everything looks very good. ITC barely moving. Very good stuff. I'm tired about it. Salesforce looked terrible, but it's coming out. It's coming out of it. It's coming out of the low. This was all the Dow needed to get to 34,000. Let's get this fucking thing back up. Look how far behind. Because this move really messed up all the price action in here. I mean, there's so many tickers that got this from all that COVID action. Is that it gets such a large gain that then it got really held up, right? It got really held up in here into this big channel. Don't worry, there's some Redditor somewhere drawing a flag on this chart. They're going, oh no, this is the biggest flag ever. Get in on this play. Sounds good. Go push it, please. Push it through the resistance here and let me get some points. Sounds good. Unbelievable. Really, really nice. Really nice that we get this, that we bet on these moves from the 25th and we got it. We bet on the move happening quick and it happened. Feels really good. Feels good. Nothing, 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 nothing. Trash, trash, trash. Fucking buy it. Let's go. Push it. And it happens. Roku in the middle of nowhere. Moving. This trade down here, disgusting. Disgusting. Gross. Don't do that. Just sick. Nasty. Tesla, yeah, huh. We're doing it. We're doing it. I don't know what the move looks like. I'll be honest. I don't know what. I feel confident about other things. All I know is that it's going to get flows. Like ARK is going to get flows. I just don't know what that translates to. I just don't. So the only thing you can do is just be betting. We're betting on the market. We're betting on equities up. We're betting on EVs to be up. They're down. I don't know why. So we just keep buying them. I don't know. We didn't keep buying them. We tried a couple times. We didn't keep buying them. Obviously, we shorted. Shorted Tesla. I mean, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But in this situation, we go with it. We're betting on something we don't. Yeah, it's a nice move so far. I'm not exactly thrilled with where it is in a technical sense because everything else has already broken these highs, and Tesla has not broken this high. EVs have not broken this high. I would need to, you know what I would need to see to be able to stick in this position longer. I would need to see a fucking 10%er. I would need to see volatility here because right now this doesn't have volatility, which means it's stuck with an average. It's just averaged, and it's not doing as well as the Nasdaq average at all. And if I'm a part of growth position, they better be doing this. A lot of those positions that we're looking at right now, right? They're getting into this move, right? They're getting into this move. We've been talking about those. They're getting into this move, and we have the trade set up. We're ready. We know where it's going. Can we confidently say that with Tesla? We can't. They're very much like the ARK. They're very much like the ARK tickers here, where it's been kind of hesitant the last couple days. But I mean, I put 40% on fucking ARK. That's Tesla. These are Tesla. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna second guess it in terms of the idea, but on a technical sense, it definitely is not the kind of volatility I would bet on. I don't have April monthlies on Tesla. I'm not confident on it like that, so like F and things like this, right? It's like some of this is Is this because of new players, new demand elsewhere? I don't know. But it doesn't matter to me. The short term here doesn't matter to me at all, is what I'm trying to say. I just don't, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Said that was a couple things. Some of those, they're just a little different, a little bit longer term trades. A lot of things came to resistance and a lot of things got rejected. A lot of things got rejected. So again, we're looking for what these are going to do later. I mean, a ton of them. We're looking for what this next move does. So you got rejected the first time this opened. What's the next move do? A lot is in the same spot right now. TSM testing again. What is it going to do right now? These are the questions. This is what we're looking for. Fun day so far. Fun day so far. Okay, well, that's, I mean, I would say that candle right there is answering a question. Maybe we have a little, I don't know how much of an error we have here on the. Okay, well, that's not enough. We need a little more than that. Maybe 20, 25 basis points. And then you go, yeah. See ya. And like I said, this should just be a one line. This should be a one way. This should just be one fucking way to the level. I said it this open, and that's what it would be. If it breaks this level, one way, right to the fucking level. That's what I said. That's what I expect. If it's moving like I think, then there you go. Here, give me one moment, guys. Alrighty. All right, so we keep watching. I mean, what do we got? We got 10:40, 41, the lunch. And I've said this before. I mean, technically, when you're at all-time high, you should be getting melt-up lunches. We've been pretty flat, but we generated a lot of support, and we gapped above that today on the averages in the market. So again, technically you should melt up during all-time high. We'll see if we can get that. I mean, because it comes down to whether the big boys here are going to melt today. I mean, same thing applies. All the price action is after hours and pre-market. Where you open up and where you close is it. Not really much happening during the day, which is the historical way. So we'll see if we get some. Okay. My CLN is finally going. Oh, come on, baby. I love to be right. Prove me right. I'd love to be right. You lose. On a fucking lose. You better fucking do it. Don't do what I want you to do. You will be sold. What's the weather today? We're getting another nice day today. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Hard to see. I'm looking outside. Huh. Sunny. It's going to be 64. And then it's going to be shitty the next few days. All right, so tomorrow might be a real fun day because tomorrow's going to be not, it's going to be cloudy, kind of chilly. You get some goddamn traders finally trading. Maybe get some people buying something finally. Let's fucking go. I mean, that's just picture perfect right there. Picture fucking perfect. Blinks at 45. Volatility coming through. Obviously continuing. Looking for semis to make that move too. I mean, some of these will generate some melt. Again, it comes out of the mega cap, so the average, whatever. Apps, very nice. Obviously, a big part of sort of what we talk about. Big diamond in here. I mean, I've talked about a lot of these positions. The behind the whole rally, right? Behind the whole rally of the tickers that are coming out of a low are the tickers that were at a high. The tickers that were at a high already on the growth side have this diamond formation, right? These lower lows, the higher highs, and then the lower highs, higher lows, which generates the diamond. These are all going to be continuation diamonds, and I've talked about this. These are the next play. This is the next play that we're sort of already in right now. I'm going to be taking a ton of these going into the weekend, into next week, because this is the next part of that play. And so I talked about this last week. It's important to remember these trades here. Let me just draw it because, I mean, I shouldn't be just saying it. I should just draw it. That's what I'm here for, right? Okay. So all of these tickers that are doing this sort of thing here, right? It's very important. And now again, where this trend line is here is not, it's not exact. So I'm going to just do like a very artificial sort of thing here, but this is not really how it's going to probably look. But just to, again, this is not how you draw it. But just to make a point, this is not how I draw it. But to make a point, you've got these diamonds here, right? And then you've got the continuation. So these are continuations of this trend. Now the apps chart is a little different because it's already within the channel. This is probably an important note. It's already within the channel. And I've talked about this quite a bit before, which is that you get some of these charts. Let's see where that was pretty lined up, pretty nice here. Some nice wicks there. You get some of these charts that are like this, that you're already within the channel, and so you're already bullish, and you know you're already fucking bullish. But when you look at something like this here, what you're expecting is this sort of idea that you're going to trade to the top of the channel. That's the point, right? You're trading to the top of the channel. but it's more than that. You're expecting a breakout of this in a new. You're transposing your supply and your trend, and so this is where we get these patterns that take us out of a trend, and that we bring our trend line over, right? So you get, this is what usually happens. You're in a trend, right? You're trading in a trend back and forth, and then you start to go and you consolidate, right? You start to consolidate, and then you break out of it, and now you're in this new trend here, right? So you have some sort of pattern through here, whatever it looks like, and you consolidate, and then you have a new trend line down here, and you transpose. It's the same thing on these, is that usually you're climbing back into the channel, and then you're creating a new level of supply, and you're trading on a new trend, which would be the top of this trend line here, would be now the new low trend line. And then this would get transposed to the upside. To where? Well, we probably already have it, right? This is a newer chart, so you may not. So we don't have it here. So what we do is we create a new level up there, right? Wherever it's going to be. And so kind of is a pretty good look right here. Nice straight lines, sharp. Obviously, we like the chart. And so if it breaks out here, then great. Great, because that's where it would probably need to happen, right? Unless, and that's where this trend line is not going to be exact. If it was here, then it would be exact, but not usually that. Again, we're already a part of these moves, but, you know, looks very good. Where is the transition there? Not a transition. You just fucking buy it and push it. you just buy it and you push it. If it comes up to the trend line, maybe, but it's not. That should be already. I don't know if I need to tell you that. You get to there, yeah. If you go 20% in a few days, you'd probably take the profit. That would be the transition, yeah. If you get this trade here into next week, 20% to the trend line, that would be a transition for sure. Go sell that damn thing. I mean, there's more trend lines for sure. I'm just sketching for you real quick here. Just to give an idea. Because there's a ton of charts that are like this. You should be able to just see it. You know, all the charts that are at highs that were not at a low down here from the high, that are in this diamond formation, that are all breaking out. I've talked about a ton of them. I'm just trying to give an example of those charts that are there, because those are ones that they're doing very well right now, and that's because we're already getting into that idea that I talked about last week, which are those charts are going to start to break out now in conjunction with these others, right? Not everything's in one fell swoop. They're kind of, that we have this move coming, but it's because it was so far down. These other charts that are already up here, they're going to move too. It's just different time. If anything else sneaks up on us, and continues to go. Nice. See. Oh no, Don, the volatility is going up. Oh. Volatility doesn't matter. Spot VIX, I mean. Still doing its thing. COVID winter's looking very nice. Definitely nice. Gonna be the same. Same idea here. Same idea here. Again, this high trend line is, I'm not, it's very symmetrical, which makes it more, it's not a diamond. You'll notice that when I do continuation diamonds, they always connect right through here in the apex of this trend line here. And then what happens is on the high, almost never does it connect like this. Almost never will it connect like this, where it's, you've got a wick right into the apex here of both. Never like that. And it's, I mean, it can be, but the thing to remember here is it's about the price movement within here. And this, for instance, you can just sort of tell that this doesn't come into anything, and so it should line up in such a way that these price moves are coming into the trend line every single time. Every single time. And so this is where, yes, this is the idea. But again, I want to make sure it's clear. It's not, this is not how I would not do this. I would not draw it like this, because this is not, again, yes, you can say this, yes. But when it comes down to pattern shit, I don't do this. I would just take this off, and I would call this a symmetrical continuation triangle. What I would do. That's what this is. And it's not even that, right? But it's the same concepts and behavioral ideas. Is that this over here is, then no. No. So there's more, there's just more, right? And that's why we haven't traded some of these things, because we know that there's not really a system to it. They're just kind of doing their own goddamn thing right now. Where are we at on travel? I went off the low. Yeah, I'm willing to buy all that. I'm willing to buy that. All right, let's. Um, all right, let's buy these. I'm buying travel. Short-term bet for Monday, pushing over the weekend. These are not going to be pretty. These are not going to be pretty. Probably going to get stopped out before lunch and reload it. But this is probably the cheapest I'm going to get it off of this pullback. Again, I already have long positions for some of these, but I'm doing a short-term bet. Keep that in mind. Again, that's where the points are made. That's your alpha. Here's your alpha. Growth. We've already done the growth. You're too late to go do something like this for growth. Too fucking late. You should have done it yesterday. You should have done it a month ago, or a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. Now we find something new. Here's another new one. So putting travel on, airlines and cruise lines. Maybe a little win for the winning. I think I might. If the weekend's gonna be kind of shitty, maybe I'll go to Vegas this weekend. If I go to Vegas enough, I might be able to get a shot. Like, listen, I fucking. I know they're saying already, but like 2 weeks they're gonna let everyone get vaccinated. Hey man, I travel vaccine. I want to get chipped. All them semiconductors. I want to be an owner. JJR says it's gonna be 3 days to recover from my AZN vaccine. Well, so I better do my traveling before I get the vaccine then, right? Do my traveling. I didn't get sick really, but now I really love the Microsoft suite of products. Nice one, Mopsy. No whiskey for the next 3 weeks. That sounds terrible. That's terrible. Get good you guys get good service with that with those vaccines or what? Yeah, I'm gonna have a vax party. I'm gonna have maybe I'll make a live video for you guys, you know. I'm gonna have a vax reveal because everyone wants to know what vaccine are you getting. I'm gonna have a vax reveal. You seen those baby reveal videos? Just wait for my vax reveal video. That's gonna be a big one. What everyone wants to know. For those of you wondering, yes, I'm buying April monthlies to bet on travel. I'm a sick man. I need a vaccine. I mean, this is gonna go right here, and you guys are gonna be pissed. You guys are gonna be pissed that I just bought. I mean, it would be way funnier if it just tanked from here, and I'm just completely wrong. Completely wrong. The dial bet has already done better. This was way earlier, and also I posted the chart because it's different. It's a little different. I talked about it. Want to buy it on support. Then instead it moved from here, so a little different timing. These are, I mean, these are just a little bit more obvious. It just, what are you gonna? It's got support. What are we gonna do? We're gonna sit here and wait for it. You gotta buy it now if it's gonna do anything. It's at least a swing, right? It's at least a swing. So action on 6680. VRM still hasn't moved. Where are we at on? Just trading flat. Trading flat. Some reason everything hasn't moved. So I mean, we get the points. We get the points, and now I think we're really looking for tomorrow now and for next week. Uh, okay. Well, still the one question is Nasdaq going to get all time high tomorrow? Because that's where you have, if you're not fully positioned, that's where your question becomes: should I put more onto growth, or should I still? That would be the more risky move, is to put everything towards growth, or should we stick with the current situation, which is to have long value positions, and we're using growth as our short term sort of flank, right? Flanking with growth. I think we keep it same now, but I do still. You should be betting on Nasdaq all time high tomorrow. I think. I don't think there's any reason why you should not be doing that. So, I mean, I would still say there's plenty of, there's a lot of mistakes being made. Absolutely, still. So I'm looking to capture everything. Looking to capture everything, just in everything. I've been 100% in the market since the 25th. I'm levered up. The fuck's happening over here? Are we getting the gamma squeeze started? I don't want to be late to the party. Uh-oh. I think we're late. I think we're late. Uh-oh. I didn't think we were going to start this early. We got 1 week until... We got 1 week into expiration. It's time to get the gamma squeeze on, boys. Get your meme stocks out. Get your meme tickers out of the bag. Pull your GMEs, your AMCs, your BBBYs, all your dumb names that you love. It's time. Get your RADs, get your WBAs, get your G Pros. You go buy some deep out of the money April monthlies. It's time. I would say that that's almost enough to convince me there, looking at that. That's almost enough to convince me there. I know I had on the daily, sorry. Looking at my other chart. This right here is enough to convince me. That's no normal people. That's not people. Those are not humans. That is not humans. Those are not humans. Time to do it. The cat's out of the bag. We've got 1 week until April monthly expiration date. What does that mean? Well, it's not as much as March. Absolutely not. But it could start to pick up more, and I bet on this. We're betting on more volume, right? April monthlies expire next week. What we know, and based on research and firsthand experience, is that the week leading in to the expiration date on monthly contracts, and this can happen on weeklies as well for bigger names, but for an overall and what we understand, 1 week leading in, the gamma squeeze will start if there is movement and momentum along with significant call quantities in a specific ticker that has some sort of liquidity, I wouldn't say issue, but it has a supply and demand so that the supply will stay the same and that it's all generated by market makers, liquidity, like I was talking about earlier. And so then that the quantity of demand is going up because of the calls, because the exposure is increasing as calls increase, but there's nothing changing on the underlying. And so again, as those calls increase and the exposure increases because the underlying is going up, it's going to cause market makers to buy more. And by them buying more, they're actually increasing their own exposure. That's where the gamma squeeze comes in. Now, there are things that come in on the derivative side that we don't need to go crazy on, but it's the idea of gamma, that acceleration that's increasing because of all this call buying. And as that sort of, if you think about it as a sort of like if your hands are together and you start to open up your hands, right? That angle starts to go with exposure. That's where the gamma idea comes in, and it's opening quicker and quicker, and that's exactly what starts to happen on those. And it's in that last week that starts to happen at its peak. It's at its peak in the last week or so. Now there's ideas of like other derivatives like color and charm in terms of timing that affects us, and that's really where I talk about in the last week. Those effects of color and charm and your other second order derivatives of that start to come in and play a role in terms of speed. We're never going to know the exact numbers, but that's where we are. We're in the last week. So this is where you can bet on some of those fun ones going into next week. And you should. I think there's definitely a lot of reasons to every time we have this to keep taking those trades, because there's certainly trades that, I mean, let's be honest, they pay in a different way. Pay in a different way. Yep, Z quietly. So again, I talked about this. JJ reminding us. I talked about this. You're gonna get this really these sneaky moves through resistance here. And this is again something that we've seen a lot, and something that this is where you can't get pushed out of this position. I think I've said that up plenty of times. Don't get pushed out of a position because of this move. Sneaks through here. What happens when it climbs through this resistance, right? All of these trades, what are we trading on? We're betting on it to go from this damn level to this one. That's it. That's the trade. It can go further than that. We'll push it. Fine. But the points that we'll make on these charts are from this level to this one. That's where we operate. That's where our alpha is. That's where we're going to make money. If they sneak through lunch and you're not in position, doesn't it fucking suck if you miss the whole point of the trade? Doesn't matter if it goes up 100%. You don't make the money on the whole 100%. You make the money on where it made the move. Some of you are, let's see. Brian says FL moving. Hmm. 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 The chart kind of looks a little weird, doesn't it? Looks a little strange. There's some pretty ugly candles, I'll be honest with you. What is all of this? What is all that? Right? Is there even trading occurring in here? Right? Is there even, and first of all, what is this flag? First of all, what the hell is this flag? What is this little short flag? What the hell is that? Anyone ever seen a flag that looks like this? That doesn't look right. There's something wrong and finicky about this chart, I'll tell you. Whoever made this, they need to learn how to... They ever seen a flag before? I mean, I guess maybe it's because we're going to raise the flag up the pole, right? That's one way to look at it. What if we just move this whole thing up the flagpole? I think there is a way to do this, by the way. I learned it. I'm a learner. Oh, up the flagpole. Oh, God, that felt kind of... That was fun. That was kind of fun. Good one, Jai. Good one. FL looks very good. It's pretty disgusting right now, but things will be better. Some of you didn't like that. It's okay. Apparently Z knows I've been looking on Zillow every fucking day. Whether it's a Florida condo or a Vegas condo. God. Every day I look. It's just, everyone is willing, like, market sucks right now. I'm not even looking to buy. But everyone's paying everything for fucking straight up cash. I'm liquid, but I'm not gonna go, like, I don't want to buy anything. I bought. I think it's illegal to buy an apartment one year and then buy another condo the next year, so I want to just rent one. But I can't, because everyone is buying them. And I don't want to, so I was just in Florida, right? I went down to Florida, looked at the condo on this like Brickell Island thing. It's cute. It's kind of cute. It's Miami, and then it's like a tiny, tiny little island right outside of downtown Miami, not like on South Beach or something like that. I'm not gonna live with those fucking freaks. So it's the city, downtown Miami, like how a New York City downtown would be, and then it's just this little island. And so I looked at this place, and I mean, it's I don't know, like it's not like you feel like, I mean, you know, you're in Florida, but it's not like, it's a little bit better because you're in the city and stuff, but I don't know, I don't know if I can, it doesn't like feel like alive. It feels, I mean, I know COVID's going on, but it just kind of like bleh. So I think you know, we take off the Florida idea because I don't want to live in Florida anyway. And I don't really give a shit about taxes. At the end of the day, I don't care. But the Vegas idea is still kind of fun. Tough area, Brickell Key. Yeah, and the whole like Miami thing, it sucks because you have downtown Miami there, and then that's it. It's like here in Manhattan, I've got the whole fucking city. I got the whole thing. There's not a point where you're not in the city. Miami, you walk 2 minutes through the city and you're already out of the city. You're in the fucking shithole. Like scary shit. Me walking down the street through fucking uh what is that place right above Brickell, the oh what the hell's it? Overtown. Overtown. Me me accidentally taking my Uber through Overtown. Uh yeah, I'm fucked, dude. I'm literally fucked. So I'm not doing that. That's not good. Not good. Not good. Like here in New York, it sure there's always going to be bad actors, but uh there's not a place in the city that I would feel like that. So not that I like want to be able to handle myself, but fuck. Weird thing to think about. And then of course I'm like, yeah, let me get a condo in Vegas. Which is way worse, but still like I might just be like, fuck it, let me upgrade here in New York. Upgrade. And that's why I've been looking at stuff this last couple weeks. I went to look at an apartment because I do have like an idea of slumlording. I think I'd be a pretty good slumlord. And I don't mean that in like a bad way, guys. I mean like just renting apartment stuff's pretty cheap here, like overall. But the problem is everyone's buying it with cash. You go to like you try to buy like a shitty kind of dumpy old building or something, and it's just expensive. It's expensive. I'll never be able to make the money back on renting. It would be a waste of money. So it's like, because like you can't trade over a certain amount, right? My problem is that I can't trade the way I trade with more money. I've talked about this before. I got stuck at 100K for fucking ever. I could not trade more than 100,000 in the way I trade. And only in this past year, when I started making a lot more money, did I change it. But so now I'm like, let me go invest in something, buy something. It's almost not worth it. It's almost not worth it to go do that and then go wait 10 years for the money, considering the way I fucking do shoulds. Friends mentioned space. Space is definitely get some tick there. Definitely get some tick there. This, I didn't look at the level 2 book, but this is the same order. I'm pretty sure. It's the same order. And again, ETFs, guys. Remember, the ARK has the new ETF, and there are plenty of other institutions that are doing the same orders. This is all the same orders. Just keep that in mind. That's still ongoing. That's still ongoing. So when there's not much volume, and then this order comes in, yeah, I would say pretty confidently. But yeah, see if we can slumlord. A lot of tightening there. What are we doing here? I mean, that's going to be for upside. What are we doing here? Guess I don't understand. What are we doing here? This is all upside. What's the point? I mean, obviously the trading flat is good for the upside, and we're just rallying and everything right now. But what are we doing here? Who is trading this quickly? Like not holding for that long. Very strange. Very strange. Uh, what are we doing? Well, you could definitely bet that some moves are coming. You could put a big straddle on right now with all your money, and you would definitely make money. Bet on one way or the other that it's gonna move a percent. You're gonna make money. So downside, upside, it's gonna move 1% one way or the other right now. I would say going into tomorrow. That's for sure. Know what the fuck that is. Very strange. Very strange. Z, we are going. Let's go, baby. Come on, everything. Everything together now. Everything. Your WG continues. Very nice. Apps, we continue. Big fan. See how we do with this trend line. I don't know if we need to, again, this is intraday. We don't need to see it like break the F through this damn trend line, right? It doesn't have to do that. It can just see it go through. Uh, if it was like this pushed into open tomorrow, then you would need to see it really come off it from open to confirm any ideas. But for today, I think this is, this is 7%. This is 7%. That's a ton of points backed up by a day that we did the same thing yesterday. It closed lower, but we did the same thing yesterday. So definitely it's already in motion, this idea. Already in motion to get the volatility through. Yeah, we just keep going. Just keep going. Just some tightening. Dow looks good. Dow trending up still. Not up on the day, but nice trend there. Small caps up on the day. Whips from the open. The whip is probably very good for this because that almost always leads to more upside. Whip, 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 whip. All caps are whippy. All caps are like a little whippy dog, you know? Oops. Okay. Very nice. On the sell side, we have anything interesting? We already talked about short-term volatility on oil. That's down. T is down as well. That again, this whole communications things that happened today. I already talked about that. Verizon and shit down too. I mean, again, we have moves everywhere. Moves everywhere. This did come down to support. If you were in this trading, got fucked today, that's gonna happen. Absolutely. I got pushed out of that too. So that shit's gonna happen. Now, do you buy this today or wait till tomorrow is the question. You probably wait till tomorrow. It's not gonna go away anywhere. It's not gonna run away from you. Now something like this RAD WBA, I already said it. I just said it. The question here as well is, do you take this trade right now or do you take this tomorrow? Are you going to miss anything for where it opens on Friday? That's the only question. Is it going to put points on from now to Friday open? Is there a reward for buying this now and getting it on a gap in the open? I could just wait till tomorrow, push it for a nice squeeze over next week. We bought travel at the low. Let's fucking do it. Let's go. All right, go. We buy everything. We take everything. WBA rad. Give them to me. Only a matter of time. Fucking let's go, baby. Go. Go. April monthlies. Nothing like a nice April monthly 1 week until expiration, and you tell everyone not to do that. Cheap bastard. Cheap bastard. Very good. Okay, we got some selling through here. Oh, a lot of short-term vol on this jet. Never tell. Never tell. Travel, we're doing pretty well on so far. Looking very good. Looking very good. Nice, nice. Almost back to break even on Delta. Think there's anything. Yeah, obviously, we already talked about the MGM. Some of these are in. We already talked about the MGM with the MGP. I talked about. Again, yeah. Interior. Nice. Over 1.25 spread there. Someone bought the ask. Someone bought the ask. Okay, it's gonna be a nice fun lunch. Nice fun lunch. Really tight in here. Should be able to get big moves out of there. I don't know if we're gonna melt during lunch, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything is for tomorrow, for next week. Continued price movement. Price isn't gonna stop, whether it's not moving intraday or not. Doesn't need to move intraday. Doesn't need to move intraday. Can trade flat. Again, I typed with this open. It's most likely that we just do what we've been doing, which is we open higher and just trade break even on the day. Price will be up, like Nasdaq's up a percent, but it's just gonna trade flat, open to close, whether there's movement in there or not, just like we've been doing. Boom, 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 close at the same spot. Dun, dun, dun. See ya. Open up percent higher. Technically, all-time high should melt up. We haven't been getting that because of, again, some liquidity sinking on the big boys like this shit. Taking all liquidity just to trade it flat like this. See a damn thing. Can't see a damn thing. See if Netflix can break through this time. Hard to tell. How many points was this? It was 1.25% in 10 minutes. Jesus. Looks like healthcare is getting out of that pullback. Again, we had these big trend into start of a consolidation. I wouldn't say that this okay, this can do this sort of thing. Whoops. That's not what I meant. This can do this sort of thing. and just immediately come off the low. But we've seen in the past that this is going to consolidate. It's going to move around here and then go. It won't go immediately. And so I have a long-term position on healthcare, but for some sort of short-term idea, I wouldn't look at it in the same way that we have these other short-term opportunities that we're betting on a move. This is such a slow-moving thing, and it's about gaining points over time, and that's where the wealth creation idea and the longer-term aspect comes in. It's not so much the very short term that you're going to make the money. So you bet on this trend to happen over time, as opposed to when we take a short-term trade, you're going to get the points in a shorter amount of time, and you're betting on the speed of it. You're not betting on the value of it. So remember the difference between those two and why this is a long-term trade. And you wouldn't take a trade here and be like, oh yeah, it's going to get to 380 by next week. No, you wouldn't do that. That doesn't it doesn't work like that. But those dudes still look very good because there were some questions about how exactly these will consolidate and everything else, and these are very good moves. Very nice, controlled and trending. Build confidence into the next move. Yeah, Abs is confirming it right now. We'll see what that move looks like after it confirms support. Where's ENDP right now? Fuck am I? Oh no, my brain. Thank you. Yikes. Yikes. Brain stopped working there for a second. ENPH. Just look at my portfolio, but Jesus. Nice. I love the candles in here. A lot of short-term patterns today. Short-term. I guess the ETF doesn't look too bad. MSOS doesn't look that bad, but this is still a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. How I'm feeling today. Bag holding, preempting the move. A good meme. I like that. MOS fundamental strong like Ox. Sure, pot stocks are strong, but you want to make the money today or you want to make it in a year? There's your money. In other words, like so silly. We all can buy the same stuff, and then we have people buying like really dumb stuff still. The money they spend on the dumb shit, they could literally just buy the thing that's actually making a move. It's the strangest thing I still don't understand. You can see like the price. It's not even like a secret. It's I mean, I don't know. It's just there. It's not like an opinion or what may happen. It's what's happening. But Don, my CGC position is gonna do good. Trust me. But Don, you posted the chart. So I'm holding it. I'll be good. I'll be good, bro. You're gonna literally just buy this. What are you doing? What are you looking at? Why are you gonna buy the Canadian company? But you posted the chart because you don't understand satire. Uh, Neo, are we gonna finally do it here or what? Again, I'm not taking this trade until it fucking confirms anything. I've already said this a bunch of times. I will not take this until it confirms. And you're gonna need to do a lot here. But are we gonna do it here or what? A nice start, but we've had a lot of nice starts. We've had a lot of nice starts that lead to nothing. This is where I was talking about before, and then it just this sort of move here will kill you. I think we had LSU talking about it. He was up a ton, and then now look, you're fucking down, and it makes you hold through all this, and then you just keep losing because there's no there's no way to do anything here. This price action fucking terrible. You just have to get out of here. It's like all the growth finally got out of it. Once this gets out of there, it'll be good, but not until then. Do not waste your money there. Not until it's out. It's just stuck in there. Or catching up with Square Inc. and PayPal. Very nice. We do expect FinTech to do well. We have all of our continuation diamonds that we're looking to buy. We have CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's one of those parts that's a little bit different. Part of that. We have exposure to value, we have exposure to large cap, exposure growth through mega caps, exposure through communication, Roku. Also the Chegg chart, we've got exposure here. Chewy is the other one that I'd want to get exposure to somehow, but when do you take it? This is very much like the Zoom dilemma of when do you take this trade? We had a very nice move through here. We got a lot of points. A lot of points through here. But when do you take your trade now? I'd say Chewy and Zoom, these COVID winners. We have Etsy, Peloton coming through right now. And again, we have some of these that are coming. They are making the move and there's some connection. When do we get things like Zoom and Chewy? These are definitely charts that I would bet on that they're going to be up. Absolutely. I mean, I would bet that Zoom's going to be added to the S&P. Now, the valuation, I mean, there's people that are going to be like, well, $100 billion market cap. Is this company really worth $100 billion? I mean, I don't fucking know. I have no clue. Probably not. I don't know. It's not right now. It's certainly not right now. Are people going to keep zooming each other? I don't know if they need to. I'm not sure if they need to keep zooming each other. I don't know if that's not in the same way, at least. COVID, we're all just at home jerking around doing nothing. Yeah, people are doing business calls but are people not going to be working remotely now? No, we have confirmation that everyone's going to be working hybrid at least. So there's going to be a lot of at-homers. The only industry that does well still, like in an office and conglomerated, is banks. And there's a lot of different reason of how that works, and it's really the client aspect of the institutions like that. Other times, the rest of the times, you don't fucking need to be in the same office. You can work from home. You have a lot of empty buildings. Already do. So I think that's it, folks. I think we come back for the afternoon. We'll see which of these two things play out. It's not going to change. It won't change the dynamic of anything. The points are going to happen or not. How quickly? We'll see. Some of these fun bets that I just put on before lunch. We'll see how those do. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do during lunch. I would say you don't have to do anything. But the bets from yesterday were good. The fact that we've been in position for a couple of weeks now on growth, preempting it, has been very good. The fact that we continue to add on and have confidence is very good. Continuing our value play for protection to the downside is important on a longer term scale. We are very attacking on short term and trying to take advantage of the alpha that's in that short term. So from that support to the trend line, betting on a speed and a really not speed but velocity to that next level is again where we're going to make the points, and we keep proving that and getting profit from that. And obviously some nice trades from in the last week or so. We got some nice windbreaker Windbreaker points, Orb C, you know, a couple points there. BSIG. Semiconductors still look very good. We have some nice moves coming through resistance right now. So we'll see how things go through lunch, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Things could come down a percent. It's not going to change anything at close, so it might change some of your perspectives on how to manage the next day, but everything is very risk on. Everybody wants to buy the goddamn equities. Keep it going. Uh, Again, the next question is always just to always keep thinking about the theory of craft is the idea of when we take profit, where are we putting that money next? Because if your money's not in the market, it hurts. It sucks. And you're crazy not to have your money in this market. So again, as we take, you're going to take profit on things, and I'm going to be taking profit things on Friday to put new positions on for different tickers and different sectors and things like that. You got to take it home, right? And so again, you got to figure out where you want to put that money, because some of you're talking about, everyone should be looking at it as income, and I look at it as income as my livelihood. And if I don't make money, then I have no money. Even though, because if I can't uphold my living and you guys can't either if you don't have money, and I'm just putting through like a trading perspective, you got to make the money to spend the money. And so if I go a month without making money, I'm going to be fucking broke, right? And so I'll have to sell some things. I'll be fine, but I'm going to have to sell some things. My goal is always to have just like $1 left at the end of the month, whether my money is going back into my broker or into other investments. Yes, if I need to spend something, I have the fucking money to do it. I just mean that I always want to be getting that money working for me and churning, right? And so that day that I don't make 10,000, that week that I don't make, 50 grand or something like that, fucking kills me, and I'm dead, and I'm going to be pissed off. I'm not going to go on vacation. I'm going to feel bad. And there's those days that a lot of it comes down to just not having the confidence to put the money in, and you don't realize when you're taking the money, and you don't, especially if you make the money and then you don't do anything with it, just is not good. We're not fucking old time boomers making 7% a year, putting our money into an investment portfolio, and then we'll spend the money 50 years from now, right? 50 years from now, we're all dead. So don't save your money for tomorrow. You got to use it for today. So I don't care. You guys have a different opinion and you think that you need generational wealth. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with your generational wealth when it gets fucking taxed to death and you're in your grave rolling around because they took all your goddamn money. So use it today, spend it today, spend it tomorrow, but make it today. I want to make it today. And so we're active. Brian says, what time are we going to Peloton class? I'm doing my Peloton class again in the evening. I do better because I fast all day, remember. Peloton class is fucking hard on an empty stomach. And then I sweat. I'm already starving. So I sweat out the rest of the starvation. That's not good. So I do my sprints in the morning, Peloton class at night. So 7:30. My girl Olivia, I don't think she's on at night tonight though. I'll have to see. I see you guys are mentioning that some moves are happening. Yes. More is coming in. We don't need to look at it. We know it's there. I will see you guys in the afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. Drink some water. Get some exercise. Do something. But have fun. It's beautiful out in New York right now. So I'm right on the park. So I'm probably going to walk out to the park. Probably go to the chess house. If anyone wants to play chess, I'll be at the chess house. I think I have some new people to beat. I think, time is it? 11:40. Get some kids to go fucking smack at the chess house. So it's beautiful out. Enjoy your day, guys. And I'll see you in the afternoon.